Hello world, welcome to the first ever episode of Campus Conversations. Today we are having a conversation that needs to happen on campus very often. Today we are here with the amazing Nelo, who is going to help us unpack our amazing topic today, which is mental health and how it affects our life throughout campus. Yeah, so Nelo, please introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'll just remove this thing. My name is Nelo Nkwazi. I'm a fourth year student at the University of Zambia. I'm at School of Mines. I'm studying occupational health and safety. Basically it.
Okay, that's good to hear. So Nelo, what made you get interested in the field of psychology?
Okay, so the program that I'm doing in school, initially I think that should be my second year. We had psychological courses, two psychological courses. So that made me create an interest in how the mind works and how the mind deals with stress, and in this case, the mind of the student. Yes, and then another thing that made me get interested is exposure. So I have been to different meetings, I have attended seminars, I have attended all these other activities that have to do with mental health, and I saw people speaking and they spoke so well about it and they understood exactly what they were doing. So I was like, oh, okay, I need to do that. I need to get into that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So for the people that might have just, I know we all have an understanding in our own terms of what mental health is, but can you diversify our understanding? Can you please elaborate what is meant by mental health?
So basically, when we talk about mental health, we talk about your psychological, emotional, and social well-being. When we talk about mental health, mainly people think mental health is just all about your brain, and sometimes people think when we say mental health, they think someone is mentally unstable. So it is a state of being psychologically well, it's a state of being socially well, and it's also a state of being emotionally well, where your cognitive processes are carried out smoothly. And what I mean by cognitive processes, I mean memory, things like that, your ability to think. As long as they're able to move smoothly, then you're good with your mental health. They're not disturbed.
So in the beginning of the interview, we forgot to mention that you run an organization which deals with activism on basic issues of mental health. Can you tell the audience a little bit more about that?
Okay, so the name of the organization is called Mental Health Ambassadors, and funny how it was created. We actually attended a suicide prevention meeting. Yes, we were just invited, being part of the crowd and everything.
Yes.
So when we went there with the people that I run the organization with, we saw how much of an impact has to be made with regards to mental health. We had lived experiences, we had people talking about all this mental health. What's this mental health? So we came up with an idea to say we need to actively do something about this. Most times we're able to identify problems, but we're not able to do something about them. So that's how we established the organization. We came together, similar interests. Some are done with school, some are still in school, but that's basically it. It's called Mental Health Ambassadors. We do referrals, we do seminars, we do almost everything that has to do with mental health and mental health awareness.
Okay, so for someone who might be interested in knowing a little bit more about your organization, how can they reach out to you?
Okay, so we have our publicity section of the organization, and numbers can easily be shared. We also have a general WhatsApp group where we post daily mental health updates, daily mental health challenges, coping mechanisms, and everything that just has to do with mental health. So you can just join our WhatsApp group, which could be shared, the link can be shared, the numbers can be shared.
Okay, that's amazing, and we'll surely share the link so that everyone who is interested can join the group. So we have talked about mental health. You have given us a broad perspective saying that mental health affects our cognitive processes and how we interact with each other and ourselves, basically how we view ourselves. How does having these conversations benefit the students?
Okay, so firstly, I'm going to talk about how mental health affects the life of the student. Right. So there's a difference between mental health affecting the life of a person that's working, and so there's a difference between mental health affecting the life of the student. So lives of students are basically affected in ways such as learning. You won't learn and be able to think and process everything that you are learning because your mental state is not in order. Yes, I don't know if you've ever experienced a situation where you're in class and or maybe you're trying to study and then you say the word we use is saturated. I'm saturated. You get exhausted, so you get mentally exhausted. So imagine already, even without mental health issues, people get mentally exhausted. That's why we take breaks in between studies. But imagine where someone is actually having mental health issues. So now they'll be already saturated, and then there's a mental health issue that they're dealing with. So mental health issues affect students like that. Then another way that students are affected is how you relate to others. There's some people that are just always irritable. There's some people that they're always moody, they're upset, and we don't understand exactly what's going on with them. We'll be like, oh, this person is moody, this person is like this, but have you taken time to see if their mental state is okay? Yes.
So taking time to check up on your friends.
Yes,
right?
It's very important.
Very important.
Yes.
So your organization deals with sensitization of these issues that all of us at this university are going to face one day or the other. Whether you are first year or fifth year, it doesn't really segregate to say, no, I'm going to attack this person. Any person can suffer, and many people right now are suffering from the state that you have called saturation, where they're failing to study and do other things. What advice can you give to them as a mental health activist?
Okay, so the first thing that I would say is don't avoid your feelings. When it comes to mental health, I'll look into the camera for this one. When it comes to mental health, don't avoid your feelings. Let your body feel what you're feeling. You know, there are times when I'll give one of those Newton's laws of motion. It says to every action there's an equal but opposite reaction, right? So when your body is giving you some type of reaction and you're trying to fight it gets worse for you. That's what happens with mental issues. You have something that's bothering you and you're in denial. Most of us be in denial actually. Yes, you're toughing it out. So you don't know that toughing it out is actually weakening you. It's getting to you. We don't even notice that. So you have to feel what you have to feel. Do not avoid it. Then another thing is give yourself grace. We know you have deadlines to meet. We know you have assignments. We have a presentation, and the same day you have an assignment, and the same day you have, and maybe let's say you've been given this work, maybe a week before. Even as you work your things out, give yourself time. You're a human being, you're not a machine. Give yourself time, because you pushing yourself to do things all at once is going to saturate you. That's why you wish you're going to say, oh, I'm saturated, because you're trying to do everything at once. Then another piece of advice I would give is, this is especially to people that feel like, because sometimes we don't know that we're having mental health issues. Did you know that someone can be depressed and they don't know that they're depressed? Yes, it's very possible. People have anxiety and they don't know that they have anxiety. So it's only until they are made aware to say, this is what anxiety feels like, this is what depression looks like, and with their symptoms, they'll be like, oh, this is what's going on with me. Yeah. So especially people that are noticing now that they're having certain mental health issues, please talk to someone. It's very important.
Yes.
It's very, very important. It's so important to talk to someone. Seek counseling. It's nice to be in the hands of a counselor. It doesn't necessarily have to be a friend, or also it doesn't have to be necessarily someone professional. It could be your friend. Sometimes we have friends that are really good at helping us figure things out, mentally. They give very good advice, and they're like, okay, so here you go about it like this. Then we have a counseling center here at Unza. There's a saying, actually, people say it doesn't work. Yes. I have interacted with a few people. I had some research that I was doing, and it had to involve the counseling center. So most people say the counseling center, no, even if you go to the counseling center, shani. But like, they do work. When you go in there, there's room. There's room one, room what. There's enough rooms for you to go into and just pour out your heart. So you seek counsel, you feel what you have to feel, right? You give yourself grace. That's really how you as a person will be able to deal with many issues.
So conversations like this do help.
Yes, conversations like this do help.
Okay. So what last piece of advice would you give to the first year student right now?
Okay, so to that one first year student, I'm going to be a bit biased here. I'm not a feminist. No, I'm not a feminist actually. But I'll speak. Even the guys can take the advice. I'll speak mainly to the girls. We know it's your life to start with. It is your life, but please remember that one, you have somewhere where you're coming from. Mental health issues root from different places. You won't find someone depressed from nowhere. It starts from somewhere, right? So now I'm going to couple this with what I just said. Remember where you're coming from. Yeah. So there are situations where we forget. I can use local language. It's called Buku Shamira. We forget, right? So you forget that you're coming maybe let's say from a humble background, and then you're in first year. It's first year. You're learning yourself. So you come here, and then you meet these friends that are coming from very well-to-do families. So now you have to catch up. You have to catch up to where they are. You have to catch up to what they're doing, right? So in that catching up, maybe let's say to my loans and everything, at the end of the day, that is going to affect your mental health. Those people won't be there to pay the loans.
You'll be left alone.
Yes, you'll be alone. So for first years, I feel like you just have to have control. We've been there. We've experienced, right? You've experienced, you've seen. You just have control. And then another piece of advice that I can give, I don't know if I know most of the audience might be Christian, but I would really, really love to advise that you put God in everything that you're doing. When you have the guidance of God, it's so hard for you to be swayed away by other things. And what I mean by mental health starts from somewhere. Mental health issues start from somewhere. They don't just come. It's what you choose to do in your life. It's the people you associate with. It's what you feed your mind, So at least feed your mind things that are of God. It's so hard for even the devil to come and sway you, to come and put thoughts of suicide in your head, because you have somewhere where you're standing. You understand what I mean? Yes.
You have a solid foundation.
Yes, you have a solid foundation. And then another thing is having too many friends. I feel like there's a problem with having too many friends. Yes, because it's not been about the gossip or learning the people come with baggage. You have a friend that does this, and then you have another friend that does this, and you have another friend that does this. Now imagine you adapt to all their habits.
You just collect negatives.
Yes, right? So pick your friends wisely and know who your friends are. Really.
That's very important.
Yes.
You might find your friends with over 20 people, one smokes, another one drinks, and they expect you to indulge in every one of their vices.
Exactly.
So you just end up fighting.
And that's which difference. We understand first of all that you're coming here to develop, right? You're coming here. It's like when our parents send us to uni, it's like they're saying, okay, now go and take it up. It's your life now. You go and take it up. So we understand you're developing. So that's which difference. You can't be drinking, smoking, going. You can't do everything at once. Pick a struggle, at least. If you want to struggle, I'm not saying struggle, but if you want to struggle, pick a struggle. Yeah.
It's very true. Okay, thank you, Nelo, for this wonderful conversation. We hope to have you back again for another season where we dive even deeper into this very complex conversation. We provide solutions, tactics, and other coping methods that you know, people will be stressed and then they'll lead themselves into alcohol, smoking, and other vices. Can you just like briefly give them just one alternative coping source other than alcohol?
Okay, so this is a very good question actually. Maybe in another segment we can, like you have said, we can dive deeper and talk about few more other reasons that I got interested in mental health. You know, things just don't happen, you know. I had to have a certain experience for me to dive into mental health. So there are a lot of other things that you can actually do to cope. You can find better habits, and not every habit involves you losing money, by the way. So you can find better habits. You can journal. You can join a sports team, maybe basketball, football. Yeah, you can join movements like mental health movements. You know, those things keep you busy. We're not saying that no, it's compulsory or anything, but it keeps you off track, you know, easily getting swayed. Because most of the times, what happens is that if I have a coping mechanism, maybe let's say I want to smoke, right? If I have a coping mechanism like smoking, any slight inconvenience, I'll say no, I'm going to smoke. You get what I mean? So imagine if you have something else that keeps you busy. Maybe let's say, I don't know, you have just a different hobby. You have an interest. You're part of a club. You know, you're part of an organization. Most of these things will keep you so occupied that when things are hard, you'll be like, no, okay, I don't have time. I do not have time to do. I only have time to do what I have to do. Okay, so find a hobby, a meaningful hobby. Could be even just praying, you know, journaling, reading the word. It's just find something else that you can do to replace that vice. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for having this conversation with us. Everyone who has heard this podcast, I hope you have managed to get one or two things that will be able to help you throughout your journey here at the only university in Zambia. I hope my CBO audience is not watching this. I know you are, but you just not what the best.
You don't play like that.
We don't play. Okay, thank you very much, and we'll catch you on episode 2. Our guest will be the academic secretary for the University of Zambia Mino Society, and we'll be unpacking financial advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was awesome.